way, all of our ways. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all the coverage here on ESPN Radio, as you just heard. And information dropping left and right. So we have two big things that just dropped ESPN.com, Smalls. One, a Schefter Intel article. He does one of these leading into the draft every year. This was the article last year, if you remember, ladies and gentlemen, that he tipped the world off to the possibility of one Michael Penix Jr. out of Washington and Indiana going a little bit higher than people would have thought, maybe even to Atlanta, and that's what happened at 8 overall. So Schefter drops one of these things per year. Smalls has quickly skimmed this and read this as fast as she can during the break here, and now is going to present nuggets for us to dive into here. I have not read this. The audience, you probably have not read this. It just came out moments ago. Smalls has. Smalls, what do you have?
Okay, I have three things, Evan, that upon first reading really popped to me. So I'm going to give them to you. All right, here's the first one from Schefter. At least one team does not have a first-round grade on any of the quarterbacks in this draft. The general manager of another team said, quote, there are no surefire quarterback solutions, and the top-rated passer in this class, Cam Ward, would be the 7th-rated passer in last year's class. And I don't think it's close, he added. Some teams and prognosticators have predicted 4 quarterbacks to go in round 1, but there are smart people around the league who believe there might only be 1 or 2 who go in the top 32 picks. So according to Schefter, Evan, there's a scenario in which Friday night could be more interesting and active for the quarterbacks than Thursday nights. If fewer quarterbacks are drafted in round 1, rounds 2 and 3 set up to be explosive, according to Schefter.
Okay. Lot to digest. Good one,
Yeah.
Smalls. All right.
Thank you.
He wrote it.
But I pulled it out. I extracted it.
You just
I
said
extracted this
thank
nugget.
you for Schefter's reporting and writing. Congratulations, Smalls. You got great information that
I'm thanking
you read
you on
from
behalf of
Schefter
Adam.
on ESPN.com. Okay, so I wrote down in my notes for today, because also off of a Schefter tweet yesterday.
Good work. Good work.
Thank you. Yeah, it was tough. It was tough. So that there are no trades that have happened so far in the first round.
He kept emphasizing that with us.
Right. And so I started thinking, why? And I think what you just read, good job, indicates why. If there's at least one team that thinks that there's not one quarterback worthy of first-round drafting, and that maybe the under will hit, I think ESPN Bet had the over-under at, 2.5 last check on the quarterbacks, use promo code USL, that explains some things that maybe we see less quarterbacks than we think in the first round, i.e. just Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders, and that the under hits, Dart and Tyler Shuck and other guys go to the second round or later, and that's why nobody's trading up, because they don't like any of the quarterbacks. It kind of ties all together, right? If you think about it. And if you look at the latest mock draft, Jordan Reed put out ESPN.com, a 7-round mock draft. I don't know how he does that. That's amazing. He has Cam Ward number 1. This just came out. Shedeur Sanders number 9. That's to the Saints. And he has Jackson Dart number 21 to the Steelers. And so he has the over. He has 3 if the over-under is 2.5. But that's it. So, he doesn't have a fourth one in there, but he does have the 3. All right, so that was nugget number 1. Nugget number 2, Smalls.
Nugget number 2. So speaking of quarterbacks, obviously the Giants scheduling a private workout for Shedeur Sanders on Thursday was something, Evan, that we really talked about. Could this be actually the Giants going back and making sure that they have everything they need on Shedeur because they actually want to draft him, that this isn't just smoke? Well, here is what Schefter had to say. This year's private workouts came later and closer to the draft, but that was only because Sanders held his pro day on April 4th. Even if the Giants bypass Sanders with their top pick, there are split opinions across the league about whether they will. They can always attempt to trade back into round 1 to try and land him later. But here's the nugget that popped out to me, Evan. As some evaluators pointed out, however, if they, meaning the Giants, like him enough to trade back up for him, they should like him enough to take him at number 3.
Yes.
As an NFL executive said about the Giants, if they like Shedeur, they're taking him at 3.
I totally agree with that. I don't believe you can reach for a quarterback.
Right.
I don't think there's a such thing. it either works or it doesn't, right? And then you can then after the fact, look at it as a reach. This is going to sound ridiculous to all of our friends at ESPN 1000 in Chicago, but I don't think that Mitch Trubisky was a reach at 2. I just think it didn't work out, because if you think that's your guy, take him as soon as you can get him at that position. You do not wait. Daniel Jones with the Giants, right? They took him at 6, if I'm not mistaken. It didn't work out. It didn't not work out. It wasn't like the worst pick ever. They still won a playoff game with him. But the moment, if you believe you're sold on a quarterback, the moment you have the opportunity to take that quarterback, you should take that quarterback.
I agree.
You just may be wrong about your evaluation. The Bears were wrong on Trubisky, right? Now, he wasn't the worst quarterback ever, but they were wrong on Trubisky. But so if the Giants believe Shedeur is the guy, Smalls, to your reading, congrats. To your reading there of Schefter's piece that just dropped ESPN.com, if they believe he's the guy, take him at 3. I totally agree with you. Now, Jordan Reed has him at 9 to the Saints. All right, what's the next nugget here?
Okay, last one, Evan, and there's a lot more in this article, but last one for now. So as you mentioned, Adam was talking about the lack of trades up until this point of heading into the draft. So one of the categories that Adam has in the article is, where are the trades and who could get dealt? And this one kind of popped to me. On the other side of things, the Steelers at number 21 are among the teams interested in moving back from their first round slot. That list also includes the Jaguars, Panthers, 49ers, Falcons, Seahawks, Bucks, and Vikings, who currently have 4 picks, the fewest of any teams. There has been, however, a lack of teams willing to trade up, at least so far. Denver is one of those. The Broncos have made inquiries about moving up in round 1, according to sources, but there aren't many others. And Adam notes this could always change when players start falling and teams are on the clock. Evan, we talk so much about the Steelers and their quarterback situation and Aaron Rodgers, them being in a holding pattern for him. If that's going to change what they do in the draft, especially in round 1 at number 21, do they move up to get a quarterback? So for Adam to report that the Steelers are among teams interested in moving back from their first round slot was very interesting to me.
That is fascinating. So in other words, going from 21 to 29, I'm just making up, 29, right? Because everyone thought, or everyone has thought, that they're the team that's going to move up to try to position themselves to get Shedeur.
Exactly.
See that nugget, Smalls, from Adam Schefter's article. Good job by you with Adam Schefter's reporting and writing, but good job by Smalls on this specifically.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
That would indicate almost that maybe they do have Rodgers. But Rodgers on McAfee would indicate they don't. So now
Correct.
I don't know what to think about them at all. Can I add another wild card to this?
Absolutely.
Okay, quickly. From Schefter's reporting here, so congratulate me because I'm about to read this.
Good work, Evan.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Smalls. Many mock drafts have pegged the Jaguars to select Michigan defensive tackle Mason Graham at number 5 overall. As the venerable Lee Corso says, however, not so fast, my friends. New GM